All right, so today we're going to talk about doing linear regressions. And yesterday I showed you how to do linear regressions by hand, but that's just too much work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk with you guys today about doing linear regressions, and we're going to do them on your TI 83 or 84. So here's what we're going to do. Let's start off this lesson. Let's go ahead and let's just follow the directions for how to go ahead and make a scatter plot, how to find the equation, how to approximate values, okay? So step number one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to plot these points on the graph that we're given, okay? So my first ordered pair is going to be this one right here, -5, 1. So I'm going to go over -5, up 1. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a point there. Then I got -3, 0. All right. I got -1, -2. I got 1, -2. And I got 2, -3. Okay? So right now, based on these plotted points, we should be able to recognize that there is a correlation between them. All right. The pattern that we see is we see a linear, all right, regression right here, and it looks like they're all pretty x and y's very directly with each other. So there's a very strong negative correlation here. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. It wants us to go ahead and find the equation of the line. All right, what we'd have to do is we'd have to draw on our line, we'd have to find the y-intercept, we'd have to find the slope, we'd have to do all that type of stuff. The easier way to do it is go to your calculator, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to minimize this a little bit. Hold on. Let me go ahead and shrink this. All right, we're going to go to our calculator. Why won't that do that for me? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move it over here. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to put these points into our calculator, into our table, so that we can make a graph and make a linear regression in a line of best fit. Okay, so one of the important things to do first is go to this button right here that says Stat, and what you want to do is you want to go to number 4. You want to clear everything, and what we want to do is we want to clear our L1, all right, comma, we want to clear our second L2 right here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit Enter. All right, so now when we go to Stat here and we go to Edit, so hit number 1 there, you'll notice your L1 and your L2 values are blank. Okay, L1 we're going to use as our X values, L2 we're going to use as our Y values. So we're going to start off by putting in -5, Enter. There's our first L1, -3, Enter, -1, Enter, 1, Enter, and 2, Enter. And those are all of these values, right? Oh, sorry. Those are all of these values right here. Okay? So that's what we entered in our L1. Now, L2, if I arrow over, all right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in those values. 1, enter, 0, enter, -2, enter, -2, enter, all right, and -3, enter. All right, so now what we have is we have all of our points in here. So if I wanted to go and graph those, I would hit this. I'd hit zoom, and I would go down to number 9. So zoom 9. Oh, looks like I forgot to do this. I forgot to clear this. So I have to go into my y equals. I got to clear that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit zoom 9 again. And we should have all of our points, but we don't. So let's go back to Stat. Let's go to Edit again. I have all of my points. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit second. All right. Nope, not second. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Graph. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to take and I forgot to turn the plots on. So you have to go to plot. All right, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn it on. It's going to use the L1, L2 value. So now when I go ahead and hit graph, now I have my points there. And if I go ahead and I hit zoom 9 this time, it'll take me right to my points. So this graph right here should match. All right, this graph right here should pretty much match what we see over here. Okay, now here's what we want to do. We want to take and we want to go to Stat, and we want to go to Calculate. Okay, and we're going to go down to this one that says Linear Regression number 4. We're going to hit Enter. All right, So what's going to happen now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw in a line of best fit for my L1 values, comma, all right, and then my L2 values right here. And then what we want is we want to take and we want to go to y of ours and we want a function. So I'm going to go ahead and put that function into y1 so I can see the equation of the line. Okay, so go ahead and hit enter. And what pops up now is my a value and my b value. So I can see the equation of this line if we want to write it in y equals ax plus b. All right, I got my a value. All right, it says my a value and it says my b value. So let's go check those out. A value, I got negative 0.55, and b value, I got negative 1.87. So I got negative 0.55, and I got negative 1.87. So if I wanted to graph this line or write the equation of it, I'd write y equals negative 0.55x minus 1.87. Okay. All right, so that's the equation of the line that we've drawn. Now let's go see what this line actually looks like. You got y equals right here, and it tells you what the equation is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit graph. Now we've drawn in my line of best fit. And you'll notice what happens is it starts up at this point, and it goes through this point. I'm going to draw that. I'm going to copy what my graph says. I'm going to go from this point straight through this point, and I have my line of best fit. Okay, now the last question asks us to find the value of the equation when x is negative 2. Here's what I'm going to do for that. I'm going to go get an exact answer by going second table. Look at what I have. All right, it's asking me what my value is when x is negative 2. And look at what I have right here. All right, my y value. I got negative 0.7561, so I'm going to round it to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to go to y is equal to negative 0.76 based on that table. And if you check your graph, all right, it wanted to know x negative 2 and y, so this is my point right here. I got negative 2 comma negative 0.76. All right, and that right there, guys, is linear regression using your calculator. Okay, let's try another example. All right, so I got all my points here, and I need to go ahead and graph them again like I did in the last one. So negative 4, negative 4. All right, negative 3, negative 3.2. Negative 1, negative 2.5. All right, 1 comma negative 2. And you got 2 comma negative 1. All right, just looking at it, it pretty much looks like we have a positive correlation here. All right, a positive correlation of 1. Let's go to the calculator. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to stat. All right, and I want to get rid of everything that we just did. So I'm going to go to clear list. All right, and I want to clear my list from L1, comma, I want to clear my list from L2. I'm going to hit enter. So that's done. I'm going to go to my y equals. I want to clear that, get rid of that. And one other thing I want you to do is I want you to go to second catalog down here. And I want you to go to, let's see, keep moving down. Where is it at? I gotta find D's. Okay, I want to go to diagnostics on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit enter for that. I'm going to turn my diagnostics on, hit enter again. So now when I go to my stat, I go to my calculate, I go to my linear regression, although I cleared it already. Okay, let's go ahead and let's clear this. All right, so now here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to my stat, we're going to go to edit, and now we're going to put in my we're going to put in all my values. So I got negative 4 for my x, negative 3 for my x. Oh, hold on. I got negative 4, enter. Negative 3, enter, negative 1, enter, 1, enter, and 2, enter. I'm going to go over to L2, and I'm going to put in my y values. Negative 4, enter, negative 3.2, enter, negative 2.5, enter, negative 2, enter, negative 1, enter. All right, so I've entered this table into my calculator. And now what I want to do is I want to go to stat, I go to calculate, and I'm going to go ahead and run, you know what, before we do that, let's go to zoom 9. All right, and what we should see now is we should see the same picture here as we see here. Okay, if you don't like the window that you're in, what you can do is you can go to your x max, y, let's go with y min. Let's go and make this negative 6, and then we'll be able to see where we're at. Y max, let's go down again. Let's make that 1. X max, I think that should be good. All right, now we'll go to graph again. All right, so now it really looks like what we're doing right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's draw on the line of best fit. So we're going to go to stat. Let's go to stat. We're going to go to calculate. All right, we're going to go to linear regression. So we're going to go to 4. And remember, we're using my L1 data. All right, comma, my L2 data. And we want to take and we want to put this as a function under your y bars. And it's going to put it as the y1. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit enter. We're good to go. All right. Now what we know is we know the equation of this line. You got your a value, you got your b value. So I'm going to write, what is that, 0.44? So we got y equals 0.44x minus 2.10. All right, because we're able to find my y value. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at this. All right, got the equation of that line. I'm going to hit graph. And now we have my line of best fit. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that line of best fit. All right, so I'm going to go straight through, just like that. All right, and our equation, if you take a look at it, negative 2.10, yeah, we're kind of around there, right? And then it looks like we're going up 1 over 2, right? Or down 1 over 2. And that looks like what my slope of this line is. Okay, now it wants me to find the value of the equation when x is negative 2. I'm guessing right here, and this is just me estimating, that it's going to be somewhere right around negative 3. Y is equal to negative 3. Okay, let's go down. No, let me go back to my graph here. I'm going to go to second table, and I'm going to look for negative 2, right? And look at what I have when I go down to negative 2. And I go over. I get y is equal to negative 2.98. All right, so y is equal to negative 2.98. Questions? All right, that is using your calculator, guys, to do linear regressions.